All right, so we just did an awesome podcast with you guys. We heard some ridiculous stories and it was a lot of fun. And they were true. So I thought we'd carry it out here onto the putting green and we kind of do what we talk about. So like everything from coaching to fitting, like what do you do first? What do you care about? What do you not care about? And so I've got my putter and let's see what happens. What should we do?
All right, well, what can I do for you? What can I do for you as far as your putting? What are your tendencies? To pull, push, long, short, make everything?
So I've been a really bad putter traditionally. Like under pressure, short putts, I miss a lot. So I am an experimenter. I tinker with different things.
You're a tinkerer.
To try to figure it out, right? So we're on my latest iteration here.
Yeah, where did you get that Toby right there, that thing of beauty?
I've compiled it here from this. So it's a 3D printed putter from this company called Round 4. And then I threw this rectangle putter grip.
Any method to the madness?
No method.
Just trying and tinkering.
And so it was like, the only thing that has made sense to me has been this rectangle thing. Like I feel like I can finally feel where the face is.
Okay.
And then the grip shape, and then I can just like push the ball at the hole.
Okay.
And then you pull it. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Okay. So when I look at your putter, so obviously the putter's an issue to you.
Yes. Yeah. And then my stroke is, I feel like, always changing. So right now I'm in this thing where like I feel like I put my weight on my left foot, maybe 70-30, and then I have kind of a short compact.
Putt with your trail arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your prime mover on the downswing is your right arm.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So you're basically telling me that you want to take a look at the putter and then just like maybe a mini lesson, so to speak, while we're doing the fitting. Is that what?
I want to make sure that I'm like synced up. Like I feel like I'm probably like a lot of golfers where I get nervous. Like, am I doing the right things? Right? Like, should I have made these changes? Is this putter good for me or bad for me?
So you're looking for some clarity.
I'm looking for some clarity, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, well, just looking at the design of the putter, to me it's very mechanically oriented. It's not a feel-based putter.
Yep.
You know, it's got a lot of, right, Tim? Would you explain what a mechanical looking putter would look like?
We've got a plumber's neck here. Yeah. This has some offset in it, okay? With a plumber's neck with offset, that could have an influence over your aim that would be a little more left biased or pull biased. When we look at the design of the putter head, we've got a blade with a back leading or a flat leading edge, really square. So that once again would have more of a left alignment tendency. We noticed that we have a flange line on this. Flange line is another left aim or pull aim bias. So we've got a bunch of lefts stacked up right now. When we look at the length of the putter, this is at 34, I believe so. So we're going to see how that 34 inches works for the stroke that you work on with David. Okay. When I look at the toe hang of the putter, and when I find the balance point on this, just let it hang on my fingers, we're at 45 degrees, which is a neutral toe hang. That's not going to be face balanced or a deep toe hang. Okay. The grip is an interesting piece. How many grams do you think this thing is?
I don't know. That's pretty heavy. Like 120?
Yeah.
So what's interesting, he's got left in the hosel, left in the head, left in the line, but mega right in the grip.
So there are some aspects of design here that we need to consider, and then we need to see how you're using and moving this. And that's more of David's department. And then I have to figure out, is there an implement that we can use that's more conducive towards some of the mechanical changes that he would recommend.
So is the tool helping or hurting is the ultimate question?
Not sure yet, but he's got a bunch of lefts designed in the head, and then he has a big right in the grip. It's kind of interesting to counteract
he's got the little finger on the side, which is in plane and trying to push it.
Yep.
Yeah, so let's take a look at his stroke.
A couple questions I have for you, Cordy, from a miss tendency standpoint. Are we missing more putts left or right on a straight putt?
Left.
So got more left.
So we know at the crime scene here that the face is closed at impact.
At impact.
So then we got to see if he's closed in the backswing.
Talk to me about speed control wise. If you struggle with speed control, is it with being a little shy or being a little too aggressive, or speed control something that's pretty good for you?
Speed control hasn't been bad. I would say I would traditionally be short.
Are you a three putter?
Yeah, you could say that.
And Right to lefters or left to righters, are they better for you?
Left to right.
Okay. Makes sense based upon a pull.
All right, now, Cordy, this is very important, not just for you, but for our listeners.
Yeah.
I see you reacting to the previous putt.
Okay.
That's called steering.
Okay.
So in other words, it's like Paris traffic. Have you ever been to Paris?
I have, yeah.
Arc de Triomphe?
Yep.
Okay, there's no lanes, right? So you hit the car on the left, boom, you overcorrect, you hit the car on the right. This is a really, really bad mental habit to get into.
Interesting.
All right, great players go through their process over and over and over again and just refine it a little bit better and better. So I want you to first mentally, let's just go through the process of you hitting a putt. And whether it goes left or right, just go back through the process and do the process better.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead and do your thing.
What do you mean by process?
Your way of doing things, like your read, you line it up. Not just so much your routine, but the way you go about doing your routine.
Yep.
Does that make sense? So just do your thing.
Yeah.
All right, and just let's go through the process. Do not react to the previous putt. So I'm checking where he aims here. Okay, good. All right.
One thing that I think is important is when fitting a putter, I don't want to bias you in any way, especially knowing that you're somebody that's steering. Because if I give you feedback in the moment and you react to that feedback and try to make something else work, I'm not getting true feedback about what's happening here. So with a player like you, I'm probably going to be very quiet during the fitting, not giving a lot of feedback until we get to the end, because I don't want you to overreact to anything I tell you.
All right, now, how'd you do on those last ones?
Those last ones are good.
Okay, good. Now, where were you aiming? Just so that I know.
Right edge, I think.
Right edge. You were spot on with your aim.
Okay.
All right, now, so if you're not aiming left and you're hitting pulls, correct?
Yep.
Where are we getting the club face closed? Well, yeah, obviously, but I think you twisted away closed.
Interesting.
I think what's interesting just watching you here, you're aim pretty good or maybe slightly right. And I think you're aiming right because you pull it.
Okay.
And what's interesting is in the takeaway, you start the heel back first. Show me that real quick. All right, so
show.
Yeah, so show me the wrong way, yeah, where you twist it shut.
Like that.
Yes, and it's not even that much.
Right.
Okay, now aim right, and now twist it back to square. That's where I see you doing. And then on the downswing, because your timing is very quick, you have to untwist. So hold the club up in the air. All right, so do you see the shaft?
Yep.
Do you see the heel?
Yep.
We call this under twisting. See how the heel is twisting under the shaft?
Okay.
So you're an under twister, and then you've got a little bit of a push of the trail arm.
Yep.
So I think sometimes when you twist it shut and then you fire the right arm early, the face doesn't have enough time to untwist. Is that kind of what it feels like?
Yeah, no, for sure. And then under pressure.
You're not just saying that because we're on
No,
film.
no, I'm not. And then under pressure, that is more like.
So let's be a bad kid one time.
Okay.
Everybody likes being. Go ahead and line it up, right edge. Let's be a bad kid.
All right.
I literally teach like this too, by the way.
Perfect.
All right, so we're gonna go right edge.
Okay.
Let's aim it a little open because Grandpa's gun shoots left.
Okay.
In the takeaway, twist it back to square and hit it. Where'd you miss it?
Left.
That's your pattern.
Explain that.
No, you just did it. Let's do it again, right here. Okay, when you get putting bad and you start seeing pulls, you start aiming to the right, and then the takeaway, you twist it back to square. Let's do it again. Instant replay. Ready? Aim right, twist it back to square, and then hit your putt.
David, something
That one you untwisted.
Something I'm curious about here, and it's something I've noticed. I notice more and more players where the pull is actually created on the backstroke.
A lot of times there's a lot of under twisting. Show us that.
So under twisting like that?
Yeah, and under twisting comes from the forearms and the wrists.
Okay.
The sequence of the wrist. So you can see that left wrist twisting under. You see the right forearm twisting on top, or even the right wrist. Yes. So twisting comes from the lower arms, whereas rocking would come from the upper arms and shoulders.
Okay.
So we have under twisting.
Yep, right here.
And we have under rocking.
I'm definitely an under twister.
Without question.
Yeah.
Okay, so we nailed your pattern right off the bat. You tend to twist it back a little bit with the heel first, because maybe somewhere down the road, way back in history, you try to keep the face square to the target line.
Right.
Is that part of your belief system?
I think growing up that probably was.
Well, that's the little demon in there that we got to get exercise. Okay.
Well, so you asked the question earlier, do I do that because of this putter, do you think, or because that's my pattern that I've had
It's
for a
your
while?
pattern. And then you start aiming right.
Yeah.
And then you start twisting more. And then you fire the right forearm. And there's been a lot of great players in the history of the game that didn't putt with their shoulders.
Okay.
You know, Jack Nicklaus, right arm push, piston. Tiger Woods, right arm slap and release. Zach Johnson, right arm swing.
Yeah.
A lot of players deliver with the trail side. Problem with you is this: if you twist it shut and then you have that quick tempo with the right form, you don't have enough time to untwist it back to square, and it starts to look a little twitchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I get very twitchy.
Yeah. Well, that's why.
At the moment of impact, it's the first thing we saw. First thing we saw is that as you get through the impact area, you're trying to twist underneath this way.
Yes.
Trying to twist underneath that way in an effort to keep the face square or more open to fight that closed face.
Absolutely. So, have you ever seen the movie Hoodwinked?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's one of the best child movies ever. You got to see Hoodwinked and Hoodwinked too. But there's a little guy called Twitchy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk real fast, move real fast.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you get a little twitchy because of the twisting with the lower arms. So let's be a bad kid one last time for our listeners.
Okay. Twitchy because of the twitching. I like that.
Yeah. Now we're ready. We're going to aim a little bit right.
Okay.
Yeah. You didn't do your process. Do
I
the
didn't do the
line of the ball.
All right.
Aha.
Simon says.
That's right. Okay, and we're going to aim a little right edge, correct?
Yeah.
Now we're going to be a bad kid. We're going to aim to the right because we're afraid of the pull.
Okay.
Now we're going to twist it back to square or twist it back shut
Okay.
and then hit it. That's the pull tendency. There it is.
Yep.
Got it? So
Yeah.
now I'm going to let you feel the opposite. Go ahead, set up to it. This is a pattern I see so many people do.
Which is what I was getting at earlier. I see so many people either under twist. Sometimes I see that it's almost like in the takeaway, the inertia of the putter being at rest. As they start to move the grip back, they get an under twisting face. They get the face closed relative to the arc right at the get-go, and then it stays that way the whole way through the stroke.
Fire with your right arm, which is a closer anyway. You're going to miss it left. Okay, now we're going to aim left on purpose.
Okay.
And then we're going to open the toe in the backswing. So we're going to aim left just a little bit, not too much, just a degree.
All right.
Then flow the toe open a little bit and hit it.
This looks weird.
Yeah. Ah, where'd you miss?
Feel like
that was different.
Like the face is fanning open on the back.
Yeah.
It felt like it was going over there.
Yeah, where'd it go? Not on this side, not on that side, but right in the middle.
In the middle.
All right, ready? Let's do it again. Now, okay, so how I coach people is a little bit different than most. I'm not about how-to information. I'm more about differential learning. Is what we just did, right?
Yep.
Okay, so now sit up square. Okay, or whatever you perceive to be square. All right. Now let's forget that there's club head there. Just swing the shaft back and through. Track the shaft back and through. Just track the shaft. Yeah, there you go. That was different rotation.
Yeah. Well, it's a different focus.
Absolutely.
I don't know what I was focusing on before, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what's so cool about this right here, is when we took just the shaft, and the shaft is like a spoke on a wheel.
Yeah.
And we just stayed in the wheel track, so to speak.
Yeah.
Your putter naturally rotated in plane, which the face naturally opened to the target line, but stayed relatively square to the arc or the plane. Did you feel that?
Yep.
Good. All right, so now I'm going to let Tim fit you. So I'd like to see a little more flow. I'd like to see a little less mechanics. Knowing you a little bit, you're fighting your natural personality. You're an artist, dude.
Yeah.
And you're trying to be an engineer.
Okay.
So David, comment on what we just put in his hands.
Yeah, so we just gave him a heel shafted mallet, center mass further back, which shifts the from left to right a little bit.
Yeah.
Also slows the rotation down a little bit. Okay. Now, go ahead and sit up to it for me. Let's hit one.
This slows the rotation down.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because I would have guessed the exact
It
opposite.
increases arc,
Okay.
but it slows the rate of the rotation coming
Like
in
this.
impact. Yes.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, sit up to it. Do your process.
Let's see. Lined up.
So very different concept as far as the tool right here.
All right, so here's what you're going to feel like in your stroke. Ready?
It looks shut right off the bat.
Okay, now you ready? You're just going to feel like there's no head.
Okay.
Just the shaft is going to track.
Okay.
Good. And you missed where?
To the right.
There you go. Let's do it again. So we went really aggressive to the other end.
I moved we talked about knobs and levers when we're talking about fitting.
Yeah.
I just maxed out all my knobs towards push.
Really? Okay.
By going here. I gave you something that has a lot of the knobs turned toward push on the aim feature.
Yeah. Track the shaft. There you go.
And I gave you another couple of knobs when it came to the toe hang of the putter and the CG of the putter, center of gravity, that were also kind of twisted towards the push side of the equation. So it's kind of like Goldilocks, right?
Yeah.
This one is a little too small, this one's a little too big, this one's just right. I tried to max the knobs out onto the push side of the target. And from what I've seen so far, that's been effective in making you miss more to the right in conjunction with what David's working on.
So the first one was slightly right, the next one was right edge, and then that one was in the middle.
Yes.
Right?
We're adjusting.
Now here's what's cool.
Yeah.
You're not overreacting like Paris traffic.
Yeah.
If you were overreacting and steering, the first ball that went right, the next one would be left.
Yeah.
So you're actually doing the process correct.
Okay.
That's how we get better. We get results by doing the process better and better. I'm not a Patriots fan, but Bill Belichick, his mantra is do your job and do your job well, right? Yeah, go ahead, sit up to it. Now, he made an interesting comment. He said the putter looks shut. So that's some things that we listen to with players. Right. Go ahead. What side of the cup?
Right side. I mean, I feel like that was probably right where I was aimed. It felt like a good stroke. Like it was.
So now, I would like to switch the heads, keep the same grip, but I'd like to switch the heads.
Okay.
So as I mentioned earlier, we kind of maxed out the knobs towards the push side of the target. So now we're going to come back a little bit, back towards the center.
Okay.
We're moving the center of mass closer to the face. Okay. When you look at these higher MOI, you don't have the CG quite as far back. That's one thing to consider. Next thing to consider is when you look at the neck style relative to what you just used, it's very similar. We've got a little bit of offset, not quite as much as what you have, and it's also not an angular neck. So the aim of this is not biased as far to the left of your putter.
Yeah, and now that we've been doing the fitting, Tim, I don't think aim's the issue. I don't think the visual aim is the issue. I think it's Grandpa's gun.
Yep.
Shoots to the left.
Aiming the stroke.
Yeah, he's aiming the stroke. So Grandpa's gun tends to shoot left. So now let's just set up. We're sighting in Grandpa's gun here. Whoa. We're right edge. How's that putter look to you?
Looks better than the last one.
Better than the last. Okay.
That's a good thing, I guess.
All right. Let's track the shaft. There you go.
That feels weird.
Let's do it again.
Way?
It's light. Feels totally different.
Light as far as swing weighting.
Yeah. Do it again.
It's just like I got it, I don't know, get in sync with it or something.
Yep. Good. Go ahead and do that. All right. So set up to it. Go through your process. There you go.
Just need to feel it. Looks good.
Nice.
That was really good.
So good.
Okay.
I like it.
Where would you rate that, David, on the strokes you've seen so far?
One of the two of the best.
Correct.
Absolutely. I'd like to see you have a little bit more, pulse to your stroke. In other words, a little more beat to it. It's a little too poppy and too quick.
Okay.
That could be because of anxiety.
Okay.
Would you agree with that, maybe?
So I've found that when I try to have a normal putting stroke and I get under pressure, I lose my timing. I start putting bad, so that's why I do the pop.
Hey, pop stroke works great for a lot of players, especially short putts.
Yeah.
But not when you're twisting it shut.
Okay.
Got it? All right, so go ahead, set up to it. Give me just a little more Cordy Walker beat.
All right.
Yeah, there we go.
I really like that. I like that combination there with that head and shaft.
Yeah, explain why that is.
All right, so we've got some MOI in this, so it's going to help keep the face stable. This putter is going to resist what we call about the shaft torquing, right? With a little bit higher MOI, it's going to have more stability. Number one. Number two, when you don't hit it in the center, it's going to reduce some of that twisting as well. These are all good things to help make sure that the face stays stable. I like the fact that it has more toe hang than what you're currently putting with. And it has less offset. Both of those are turning the knobs towards the push side of the target line. The CG isn't quite as far back as that initial one that we tried. It's a little closer to the face. That's why this is hatched out in the back. So moving the CG closer to the face is going to affect the face at impact a little bit. And it's going to move that dial just a little bit more to the left than if you were to have the CG really far back away from the face. When I look at just the way that this putter's flowing, we talk about putter flow and the way that it's flowing through the stroke. I don't see a lot of about the shaft twisting here with this. I see a very, very stable putting stroke. As far as the length of putter, I think 34 is okay. I like the grip. I wouldn't necessarily go with something that is a really heavy, you know, different, unique shaped grip like a rectangle. I don't think that that's warranted. I don't think we need to go to something that's really big like a Super Stroke 3.0, 4.0, or 5.0 either. I like more of a conventional grip here, just based upon the way that you're moving this putter.
Now let's just say, you know, obviously we're making a video here, and we don't have all our tools with us, but just, you know, what's interesting, just knowing you, and I've done how many interviews now with you? 3?
A few, yeah.
Yeah, and you're, you know, you to me don't seem like the engineer type. You know what I mean? You're more artistic, right?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Yeah,
but
so
with putting, I got to figure it out.
Yeah, well,
my artist isn't working.
Well, all we got to do is change the paint colors in the
You're not
paintbrush.
trusting your artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to just change the paintbrush and the paint color. So what's interesting is this is a very mechanically built putter.
Yep.
Lots of squares and edges and squares and squares and
Yep.
did I say square?
Yeah, you said square. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like you're trying to find square, and then look at how flowing the neck is. This is called a flow neck, and this putter. And one of the things that I liked about this, because he had a pull tendency, I went with a little flow neck so that it would arc slightly, which helps make the face, you know, not twist under as much.
Yep.
You know, so, and then we're going with a pistol grip that can be held across the hands and with the fingers. And then this lambkin grip's got a pretty interesting texture to it.
It does.
You know what I mean? So we go from being very mechanical to being very feel-based. And, you know, I don't know about you because I don't sell putters, but I mean, just knowing your personality, a little more flow would.
I mean, yeah, and then adding a little bit of tempo back in there.
A little bit of smoothness.
So we changed my focus of attention from, I was probably just focused on kind of just target line more so in this pop, into focusing on the shaft.
Tracking.
And then a bit tempo, tracking the shaft.
Yeah, tracking and tempo.
You changed the attention of focus, and it changed my path. Is that right?
Change your life, dude.
Changed my life.
All right, to go through your process real quick.
This has been the best, the best putter fitting so far. Changed.
We just did a mini fit, is what I would call this. This is, we don't even have all of our tools, right, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, normally we're going to want to hook up some kind of technology to actually get quantitative measurements on face. The other thing that we're going to want to do is figure out how you're launching the ball, how the ball's spinning off the face.
Because that's what we talked about in the podcast.
Yeah, we talked about fitting to face angle at impact and then also ball roll. Obviously, without having our technology tools out here, it's a little tougher to do that. I can tell you that you're launching the ball and rolling it pretty darn good.
It's got a flow to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Track the shaft. Yeah, there you go. Now,
It felt good.
yeah, there's no left in that.
No.
Let's hit a few more. So just give us some feedback.
What I would like is for you to have a putter in your hands that you don't feel like you have to work your hands this way, Cordy.
Yep.
I don't want you to feel like you have to work this way in order to hit putts. I want you to be able to just make a putting stroke without having to twitch that shaft underneath at the moment of impact.
So this, so I would say the feeling that I have with this putter is like it's work. Like I have to focus.
Oh, wait a minute. We're going to hit that one, and then we're going to hit this one.
Yeah. And this is easy.
Okay, did you pull that one or misread it? Play that right edge. Play it right on right edge.
Pull it.
Yeah, I think the right arm came across early.
Just a little bit.
All right.
I have my Sharpie with my big line on it.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, now hit one with this one.
Well, like I feel like I got to change everything. Like I'm going to put my weight back on my.
Now you notice something here, Cordy, when we talk about putter fitting, you have a lot of folks out there that are really focused in on the length of the shaft, the lie angle. We haven't addressed, yeah, right?
Did you feel it?
Yeah. Yeah.
We haven't addressed
close.
those
It's what?
factors.
It's not even close. This has
So
it has
putter
flow
matters.
to it.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, like not only in the shape but also in the weighting too. Like you
Absolutely.
Hit it.
Did you see where that ball went in? I know it went in, but it barely went in.
Barely went in the left
Yeah,
side.
it was short left.
Yeah.
If that was hit any more.
So I think the thing that you got to be careful of is you aim your stroke and you start to twist it a little shut in the backswing and you get a little right arm, those are both pull tendencies. And like you did here with this putter, Tim did a good job shifting the knobs to the right. That little flow neck, let the putter slight arc. Don't try to move it in a straight line or twist it square.
Yep.
Make sense?
Not as angular, not as mechanical.
I mean, we just took a guy from being mechanical to feel-based in 15 minutes. All right, Cordy.
I don't know about you guys, but that was unbelievable. How cool is that? We got the instruction part, then we got the right club and how they mesh together. I think that's what we talked about in the podcast, was like, there wasn't a clear answer of like, it's X percentage coaching, X percentage fitting. It's
Different every time.
Together.
It's different with every player, every situation.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. David Orr, thank you. Tim, awesome.